Okay, this is feedback on the water on the land question. The first question, distinguish between the processes of abrasion and attrition. Okay, so we've got to distinguish between them, say how they're different. So abrasion, the load hits against the bed and banks, eroding them. Remember the secret for remembering that, the bees. Okay, whereas attrition the load knocks against itself, eroding and becoming smaller and smoother. Remember, you're distinguishing, so use your connective whereas. Okay, the next question. Always read the information before you answer the question. So study figure 13, which is here, a diagram showing the long profile of a river and the cross profiles of a river. So just to be clear, this bit is the long profile and this bit here, these diagrams are the cross profile of the river. Okay, so let's have a look at the actual question. Okay, so the actual question is, with the help of figure 13, describe how the long profile of a river and the cross profile of a river change downstream. So the focus here is on the change downstream. So if I were answering this question, I would take this strategy to answering it. I would write one paragraph on the long profile and how that changes, and I would write one paragraph on the cross profile and how that changes. I wouldn't take this approach because this isn't so easy to show the long profile changes and the cross profile changes. You'll end up writing more and possibly not getting all of the marks. So let's be clear. The long profile, the change, it's steep in the upper course, it becomes flatter or more gentle and ends up flat near the mouth. So that is your first paragraph. Your second paragraph is talking about the cross profile. So you've got your diagrams here to help you. So the valley shape changes from a V-shaped to a U-shaped valley. The valley width becomes wider and the valley sides become less steep, whilst in the bottom, the lower course, the valley floor is flat and it has floodplains, and the diagram also shows the levees. Okay. Right, next question. Study figure 14 on the insert, an aerial photo of meanders on the River Reed in Northumberland. Then says draw a labelled plan to show the characteristics of these meanders. So keyword labels, plan and characteristics. Okay, so let's have a look at this photo. Okay, so what you've got to do is you've actually got to draw this photo. It says these meanders. So this is my diagram based on that photo. It doesn't need to be perfect, but it does need to reflect more or less the shape of those meanders. Okay, and the next thing we've got to do is label the characteristics. So here we've got a swan's neck. On this side we've got the river cliff. No, we haven't. We've got the river beach. And on this side we've got the river cliff. Okay, and that's what you needed for your 4 marks. 1 mark was for the plan, and then you had 3 marks for the characteristics. It wasn't looking for things like fast flow, erosion, because it's asking for characteristics. Okay. Okay, the next question. Explain the formation of an oxbow lake. So again, a classic formation question. Key 4 steps in the right order. Same for all of your formation answers. Step 1, on the outside bend we've got erosion, and on the inside bend we've got deposition. Step 2, this means that the two outside bends become closer together over time, creating a swan's neck meander. Now, key point here that lots of people missed out was that in times of increased discharge, which we can call a flood, the river breaks through the arms of the meander, meaning that the river takes a straight course. And then step 4, over time, the slower flow in the meander bend means that there's deposition. This means that the bend gets cut off and creates an oxbow lake. Okay, so for level 1, you might have had an incomplete process or in the incorrect order. So for level 2, you needed to do that. And that was your 3 to 4 marks. Okay, next question. Study figure 15 on the insert, the map showing flooding and flood warnings in parts of southern England in 2014. So it says describe the pattern shown. So again, we've got a pattern question. So it's looking for what patterns can you see. It's not looking for you to pick out it was this here, it was that there, it was this there. It's looking for a pattern. And we've got our formula for answering these questions, obvious, specific and odd, OSO. So if we have a look at the diagram, we can see that the obvious pattern is that they are in the lower part of the River Thames and that they are more severe west of London. That's our specific point. Our odd point is this one down here in Kintbury. It was the only flood warning on the Kennet and Avon Canal part, the tributary of the River Thames. That would be your 3 marks. Alternatively, or as well, you could have written about the fact that they're in the lower course of the River Severn, and specifically that they were most severe in Worcester. Okay, so here you've got your obvious, specific, odd. That's your 3 marks already. And then 2 other marks, obvious and specific. Okay, the final question in this part was use case study to explain why the effect of flooding in a rich part of the world are different from the effects of flooding in a poor part of the world. Okay, so some key things we've got to do here. We've got to use our case studies to explain why the effects are different. So the key thing here isn't that we're describing the different effects, we're not comparing them, we're explaining why they are different. Okay, so that is the focus of this question, reasons why the effects are different. So we've got to use our case studies. We've got to be specific and we've got to use place names, facts and figures to get our level 3. Our statements need to be developed, linked and logically ordered. This tells us that we have to use paragraphs, and that the secret to getting the full marks on here is to plan our answer first. So here's an example of one of the paragraphs that we could have written. That the effects on people's lives were different because of. So this is the key bit that you need to write to focus on why the effects were different. Because of different levels of wealth and poverty. In Boscastle, people couldn't get people were insured so that they could recuperate the costs involved with the flood. So like the Witchcraft Museum could claim on their insurance to get it rebuilt. But, you could put a but in here, after the flood it was very hard for people in Boscastle to get insurance against flooding. Whereas, so we're explaining why they're different, so let's use a really good connective. Whereas, or on the other hand, in Bangladesh, much of the population is very poor and has very little. They're labourers who live on the Char Islands in the rivers, like the Brahmaputra. And when the Char Islands were washed away, they lost all their possessions. and they had to start again from scratch. You might also think about the level of wealth of the country. You might think about the level of wealth of and how that impacts on their ability to protect people. So you might think about the devastation caused and the number of deaths. So we know that in Boscastle there was no deaths, and we know that we had the 7 Sea King helicopters. And why did we have those? Because the UK is a richer country, whereas in Bangladesh we know that the flood defences weren't fully built. So within Dhaka we know that they had only built the west embankment and not one in the east, so the east part flooded really badly, and we know that people were actually living on the flood defences. So when they failed, lots and lots of people died. Okay.